you. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for your patience when we got started with today. Today is October 4th, and it is the Battery Park City Committee meeting of Community Board 1, Manhattan Community Board 1. And my name is Justine Cuccia. My co-chair is Jeff Galloway, and my committee is here in the room mostly. And we are going to get started, I think. Let you know as we're looking to make sure that in the attendee section, our representatives are here. We work in this meeting by Robert's rules, which means that the committee will go first. I will call on people, ask in the room first, and then I will go to the attendee section. If you want to ask a question or have a comment as an attendee, you can raise your hand, which you just do by pushing the raise your hand button under reactions, or if you're on a cell phone, I believe it's *6, or no, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
*6 raises the hand, and then we'll unmute you and we can go forward. And I think that's it. We do have. Yeah, we have an agenda. And I think Rick is gonna go first, and I think you're here, Rick. I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I just turned around. Rick.
Hey, guys, how are you?
How are you? Good. So, oh, sorry, I gotta talk to the camera. So Rick Fogarty is with the South Battery Park City Construction Resiliency Project, and you're the Community Construction Liaison. I'm trying to think what the CR stands for. Anyway, Rick, I will let you up first on our agenda. We're going to talk about Wagner Park and give us an update. So first of all, thank you so much for being here, and I turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Justine. Appreciate it. Thanks to the committee for having me today. One thing I want to make sure that if I am sending out updates every 2 weeks for construction work that's going on, if you are not on the list for that or know somebody that would like to be on the list, please have them email me or give me their information and I can get them added to that. And we get that out Friday. So this one went out last Friday. The next one will be out on Friday the 13th. Woo. And this just, the construction bulletin is there to let everybody know what we have coming up so they can plan accordingly. I've had some conversations with the residents over at 50 Battery that it helps them, those who work at home, can plan accordingly with what's coming up according to our schedule. And it just is a rundown of anticipated work. Obviously, as we experienced last week, weather does tend to play a big part in that. I hope everybody stayed safe through all that, but this bulletin is there to let everybody know what we're doing, and that's probably the best resource just for immediate information about the project. One of the things that we do have coming up is the package 4, which is the it's going to be the work in the Battery and along Pier Plaza. We will be erecting the construction fencing on or about October 16th. I sent that notice out Monday, and I hope everybody got that. One of the questions that I think we've already had about that is about social media. That was posted to the website, to the SBPCR website under the construction information, and is I think already posted on our social media pages for BPCA. So if those should be live right now. One question we had about this is what amenities are going to be open. The bathrooms on the north part of the park will stay open, as well as the subway station over near State Street. That runs to the 4-5 line, or Bowling Green Station. So those amenities will be open. The bike path will stay open, as well as the sidewalk. So we'll make sure that those pathways stay open for people who like to utilize those amenities. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Yes, I'll recognize Tammy.
Sure.
Go ahead. She's
Tammy.
chomping at the bit.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
Thank you very much. By social media, do you just mean living on the BPCA website, or do you push that out through active social to the BPCA Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
I'm gonna actually.
Rick, you want me to-
go ahead.
You want me to take that one? Hey, guys, Tammy, all of the above. So we have a community newsletter going out next week. I am literally on Twitter now, tagging the community board on it. And it'll be on Instagram and all of our social channels. So yes, both on the website so people can click on it and read more, but also pushed out to folks who are on social media so they can see it.
Thank you very much. My second question for Rick is, when you talk about the bike path, when you look at the map that you circulated and the information that was shared at the Battery Conservancy Board meeting, the bike path is actually moving out to the sidewalk.
Oh.
So it is not the same as it is inside. It's not the existing bike path. It is half the sidewalk. So I think that really needs to be clear for people, because you're just saying that the bike path is open. It's a much different landscape. I would like some details. Will the benches that are currently on the sidewalk, I have like 5 questions. Will the benches that are currently on the sidewalk remain?
Okay.
Will they be utilized as part of the dividing line between the pedestrian side and the bicycle side?
Okay.
And it looks from your map that there is no access at all from the bottom, from where Bowling Green is across the street. It does not, it looks like the brown area is closed off to the access on the northeast corner of the park. That's new information for us. We were under the impression that it was only closed off to the access, and the main diagonal access to the park would be open.
Okay.
Is that true?
So
And is-
first thing we're talking about.
Wait, let him answer something. Wait,
And then my last one is gonna be, I know there's emergency egress to Pier A,
Yes.
but one of the conversations that the community board requested early on before you even got there
Okay.
is to be able to have access on the north side of the park as you're phasing, and not to have the entire thing 120% closed off, because that affects the
Mhm.
envisioning for the Battery Conservancy that park is closed off. And most of the residential buildings and the residential access is on the north side.
Okay.
Okay, so can you answer those questions?
Yeah. So let me see. One of the first things I want to clarify. So when you're talking about the pathway, you said the northeast corner, so at Battery and State.
Yes,
Right by Bowling Green Station.
yep,
Yeah. So when you're going down Battery Place, you take a right down to go State Street along the sidewalk. There is the diagonal right there. Are you talking about the one above it?
let me, if you have your map, let me see if I can bring it up.
Yeah.
I sent it. So I knew this would be so much easier with the map, and your map.
I can actually share my screen if you'd like.
If you can show the map,
Absolutely. Presenter, no problem, Rick.
that would be wonderful.
Let me change this here one moment. Let me.
There you go. You're all set.
Okay. Let me.
Because, yeah, looking at this map,
Yeah.
I mean, this is what he sent in his.
Oh.
Okay. Are you seeing my screen by chance?
Not yet.
Go ahead, share your screen. You're allowed. It's next to the stop video button.
But
Yeah.
stop video.
I'm hoping my system doesn't make me restart. It's. For
I
the
can
permission
share
fee.
it. Give me a second.
Okay.
Rick, if it's the same map that we have, I can share my screen. Is that
Great.
helpful?
That'd be good. Yes, absolutely.
All right, stand by a second. Stand by. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, do you see it?
You make it bigger with the map.
Let's see if I make the map bigger.
Thank you.
So that's the size of the map that I have, unless Rick, you have a bigger version of it.
I have the actual, the notice open, the PDF. Do you want me to just send it to you real quick?
Oh, I have the PDF. I can get the
Okay,
PDF.
yeah, just the PDF. Yeah.
All right, stand by. Sorry.
Oh,
I have
thank you.
that as- I have that as well. Yep, 1 second. 1 second.
If not, Nick, I can bring it up.
Yep, no, I got it, but thank you, Tammy. All right. Okay, all right, we're gonna share again. Okay, let me know if you can see that.
Much better, yes.
Yes. Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Rick.
Okay, so, over here on the, where it says the Great Debate, the Netherland Monument, the diagonal, that's coming through right there that connects there's the battery bikeway and the sidewalk. Was that where we were just describing, or?
Yes,
Okay. That bike path is gonna be open right there. It would, the bikeway would reroute, like you said, to the sidewalk and then connect back down around the corner. Or close to the corner.
are you putting flaggers there to, or any kind of traffic enforcement? Because that will make it a very dangerous area. Considering that there's not a whole heck of a lot of space for clear path, for pedestrians, for hawkers, for bikes.
Let me
How are-
check,
are-
yeah, let me check with the team on that, and I can get you an answer on that. I need to refer to them, for any kind of information about flaggers, but, um,
That would be helpful, Rick, because
Sure.
it's congested now.
Yeah.
And once it's opened up or closed up, basically like this, we're gonna be having all three entities or users of the space sharing, and it's not gonna be pretty.
yeah, understood.
And the subway's there, as you said, so people get out, they don't know what the heck they're doing. So that's one question. Question two,
So.
Yeah.
Just to go back to your questions, Tammy, so about the benches, let me refer to the plans to make sure nothing's changed, so I don't give you incorrect information. What I can do is I can send you an email, referring to some of the questions that you have. So first one being that the benches, will the benches remain or be moved? And then the second one was, using those benches, did you say using them as a divider between the bike path and the sidewalk?
Strands. Yes,
pedestrian.
pedestrian versus bicyclist pathways.
Okay, between the pathways. Okay. And then the egress point, you were asking about the basically egress points in the north side of the park.
Yes,
Okay. And then asking about the flaggers. Is that is that the questions you have right now, or is there anything else that you'd like me to ask the team?
absolutely, because when you're going along the pedestrian way, because the clear path will be so much more narrow than it was before, I have actual real concerns because it's half the sidewalk. And from the point on your map where it says Battery Place to the left by what appears to be a white car park, there are giant green planters all along the curb's edge, which have been both a security barrier and other purposes, greening purposes along those ways. We'd like to know if those are gonna stay. Because again, that's on the pedestrian side.
I will take this back to the team and get some more comprehensive information for you, on what will be and won't be there. And get that over to you, like I said, with more comprehensive info. So I can get that.
And to know if any of the trees that are in the green line will be removed, or only the trees that are in your red construction zone.
And they're all gonna go.
Okay.
What trees will be saved, what trees will not be saved? What is the plan for the horticultural that you take out?
Uh-huh.
Is it going to be sustainably reused in any way, in any manner?
Okay. I can definitely talk to landscaping and find out that information for you. So I know we have some information regarding that, and I can get that to you.
And then access, specifically if there's a way to provide access during the staging of the project to the public restrooms.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Says that we open.
The,
It's gonna be
the
open to all the way up.
restrooms will be open. The restrooms by the Verrazano Monument?
The Battery Park public restrooms, but yes.
Right in the middle.
Those will remain open.
They're open.
If there's any way, Rick, to have an access from Battery Place closer to access
okay.
to bathrooms, that is what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
And then Mary Ann.
With the trees, I understand you're gonna be taking some out. Are you gonna be planting trees in the final version? New
Uh,
trees or?
Again, let me talk to landscape and find out about the landscaping plans and what we're gonna do with tree removal. So I can get you more information on that.
Farms can't have trees.
Berms can't have trees, interesting, okay. So it depends what you're gonna do. Okay, Mary Ann, go ahead.
So I ride a bicycle there very often,
Uh-huh.
and it is already very hard to keep separate from pedestrians who walk right in the bike path, even when it's secluded.
Yes.
So anything you do has to be very clearly marked.
Yes.
It's gotta be so much tighter.
Mhm.
There's gotta be a barrier to prevent people from wandering over. Or
Yes.
Person,
like people
flag.
turn around, they're taking a picture.
Yeah.
Well, the whole length of it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's gotta be some kind of fence high enough that nobody trips on it.
Yeah.
There will be a barrier for the bike path. So it will be differentiated from the pedestrian path.
Jersey barrier type to,
Something too big.
that's too wide, yeah.
Yeah, it'll take,
No crosstalk, let him answer, because we might pick up.
The water filled barriers that you see, the orange and white ones, those are called Yodocs. Those will be placed along that to put a divider between the bike path and pedestrians.
No dots. Dots?
okay.
Yodoc.
And then the only way to get into the park, if you're coming from Battery Park City proper, right? Is to walk all the way down to State Street and come through.
Yes.
And how long will that be the case?
Right now, we have it through the summer of 2025.
And the same with the back. You can't get there except to go all the way around.
So that was a conversation, Rick, that was had with the Battery Park City Authority, who said that they would potentially look at possibilities for staging.
Okay. I'll take that back to the team and see if there is the potential for an access point through there. Let me refer that to the team.
Thank you.
It's a general question. School's been notified about this closure because they're gonna have to take TLEs over there and they're gonna have to go all the way around with those kids when they take them outside.
Yeah, I mean, has the school, that's a question. I'm assuming your schools and the PTAs are on your mailing list? And if not, they need to be.
The school is on our mailing list. And the parent teacher coordinator, Nick and I met early on with the parent teacher coordinators. So we'll need to, we can, when we get closer to this, we need to, we're planning the meeting with the school to give them more direction once we know more finalized plans, obviously. Some of the questions you're asking, if we take that back and there's changes made, that would dictate how they access the park. So, but right now we do need to, we will have a meeting with the school about the park. But they have received the notifications, so.
In all schools, 256, 150,
Yeah.
TLE, Metro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So all, not just one fifth, not just two.
Yeah.
Nick, can you take down the names of all the schools that are being mentioned and ensure that they're on Rick's list and that you coordinate with them?
Yes, I can.
So let's go through them all again. Go ahead.
Go ahead. 276 and 150 we're in regular contact with, but what are the other ones there?
Did you say
Yep.
TLE? Is that the learning experience?
Metro kids.
And
And-
ISD.
And,
high school.
oh, yeah, it's the same school, but yeah. But you're right, Metro Kids, which is this in the
And two South End.
It's to South End Avenue,
Yep.
the daycare centers too. That's what you're going to. Metro gets the daycare center, the Battery Park Day Nursery, the Montessori School. And I wonder if you don't even have to reach out to the Pine School, Pine Street School, which is over across, on Pine Street. But they've got to go outside someplace, those kids, and I don't know where they go. And Lamont, that's right. But there's a lot of school, that's a private school, Lamont.
There's a high school on Lower Broadway, but you enter on the back.
That's Millennium. But, oh, no, Millennium is Broad Street.
It could be, yeah, but that's just behind Broadway and they
And
did very
access.
well. And schools on the low.
These are all places that should be paying attention and should be aware because they do have access to the outside. And maybe that's why we're seeing, this was an offline conversation, but perhaps the closure of Wagner is why we're seeing a lot more activity with the middle schoolers.
Yes.
On West Thames Park.
Yes, yeah.
I think so, they're being, which is then wants to go. And then we're being direct, but that's an aside. All right, anybody else? Mary Ann?
On the topic of plants.
Mhm.
200 Liberty Court has 3 garden areas to maintain and 0 money. So if we could get any plants that could be transplanted, would be fabulous. Kind of low-lying, ground cover.
Oh, that's not interesting.
For those 3 garden areas.
Talk about it.
It's, what's the building, Marianne?
200
Rector.
200 Rector.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. You know what? I'll reach out to the building. When we were doing some salvage work in Wagner Park proper, we reached out to some of the older buildings, and some buildings took us up on it, some buildings didn't. But to the extent that there is some stuff that can potentially be salvaged, I don't know. I want to connect with Rick and make sure that we can with the horticulture team. To the extent that it can, certainly happy to make that available to Battery Park City buildings. I don't.
Gonna have that noted.
Go ahead.
Nick, I had asked to get plants then, but somehow wasn't the right person or whatever. So if you contacted the building and you got told no thanks, you're talking to the wrong person.
Yeah.
So let me know if and when this is happening
And Mary Ann also reach out to the board of 200 Rector.
and the board. Yep.
Because sometimes the management company doesn't convey I mean, we've had this conversation before, Nick. Sometimes the management companies don't convey the information to the board and the board is the people you want to speak with.
Yeah.
And that's individual buildings problem, but
I
still.
Could be somebody just couldn't think of how to transport them and just said, no, thanks. And had they been more public with it, people would have stepped up. There are people who are willing to help with that stuff.
Maybe some of the plant, I mean, again, depending on what they are, around the trees, some buildings have very lovely
Ground cover.
flowers and ground cover
Yeah.
around the trees, and other buildings have nothing. Wonder, and again, I don't know what plants we're taking and talking about. I am not a plant expert. In fact, one might accuse me of the opposite of being a plant expert. But if it's possible,
pain.
that would be a nice thing to do,
Yeah, definitely.
beautifying the neighborhood.
I've got it noted. I've got it
Thank you.
noted and I'll talk to the team about that.
All right, perfect. Anybody else? Anybody online? I don't see any hands raised. Rick, thank you so much. I don't think it was too painful, was it?
I will get you answers to these questions and get back to you promptly on this. So if anything does come up and you think of anything, feel free to reach out to me. You guys have my information, so please don't hesitate and I'll try to get you an answer as quick as possible. So
Appreciate that, Nick, and Rick, and
Rick and Nick.
Rick and Nick.
Yes.
we're a team.
Yes. But yeah, no, thank you for being here and thanks for attending, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 months.
Yep, 2 months.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Nick, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Nick's, we're done.
I'm sorry. Yes, Rick will be back to us on the bi-monthly schedule, so December. But in the interim, as there are questions, certainly send them along to the email address.
Thank you so much. Well, yeah, that's great. So I think we're done with that topic. Let's move on to the Battery Park City security update from Patrick Murphy. Patrick's here. Patrick, you're getting to go quick. Happy to get you up early.
Evening, everyone.
They're the numbers at the bottom of our report, Justine, if you want to bring that up for the screen, or if you'd like me to share it, let me know.
Whatever is easier for you, Nick.
All right, let me bring it up. Hold on. Very exciting.
Dude, I got it for you.
Good, yes, because we've got Tammy.
Here we go.
You want one?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Pat, there you go. I know, Justine, also there was some outstanding questions that had come in earlier this week. So as Pat goes through these numbers, he'll also kind of weave in some of the narrative.
Thank you.
Some of their observations over the course of the month in the areas that you've highlighted.
Okay.
Go ahead. Pat.
Okay. Okay, based on the chart that you can see that for this year, we had 4 reports dealing with graffiti. Basically, the reports dealt with graffiti in the Teardrop Park, the tunnel.
So that,
We had 1 report there, and the other 3 reports were dealing with Rockefeller Park, the North Meadow Lawn. Somebody came along and painted basically a message, I guess, that somebody could see from way up, which had the name like, looked like Think and a heart. So that's what they did. So that was on Rockefeller Lawn. So the next category was dealing with the homeless. So the homeless, we had 22 reports this month compared to last year, which was 10. On dealing with the homeless, we had several types of situations. Of course, one report deals with our friend with the vehicle with all the trash that's on his vehicle. So we were keeping an eye on him. We deal with Teardrop Park. We had male homeless sleeping on the platform by the slide. Basically, the safety ambassador went over and spoke to him, and he didn't want any services, so he decided to leave. We also had, it's considered Teardrop Park. We call it Teardrop Park, but it's the rear of the public library that's up there. We had a person, a female, who was talking and screaming out loud and approaching people. So the safety ambassador approached her from a distance, and the individual, once she saw the uniforms, she decided to leave. We also had on West Thames a homeless male that was lying on the ground. The SPO had called 911. He tried to communicate with the person. The person was non-responsive to him. When the ambulance showed up, the person got up and walked away. So this is the type of situations that we're dealing with. We also had, again, at the rear of the public library again, or Teardrop Park, a person sleeping on the steps. That area, another key one is like the Irish Hunger Memorial. You had a homeless woman who was up on top. She was spitting down at people down below. And the safety ambassador showed up and approached, and the person left. Okay. Penny Park, we had 3 homeless people that were stretched out on the benches there, 3 males. Safety ambassador spoke to them, asked them if they needed anything. No, he informed them basically on our rule, which is you have to sit up on the bench. You can't, lay down and take up the whole bench, in which they did comply. We also dealt with a person who was sleeping Rockefeller Park under what we call the pavilion. That was a homeless male. He was spoken to when he left. Let's see. We had another homeless person, a male, who was sleeping on the benches by the lily pond. He was spoken to when he complied. He sat up and decided to try and sleep sitting up. Penny Park, we dealt with a homeless person. basically the command received a phone call and we were informed that person was exposing himself up there. So when two supervisors went to the area of Penny Park, they found him sleeping on the wall of Penny Park. He wasn't exposing himself to anybody. He was sound asleep. Whoever called us must have also called 911 because EMS arrived. And they spoke to him and the man just got up and left. Okay. Basically, most of our stuff dealing with homeless is up in the north end. We did have one incident by the Wagner Park construction site where a female had set up one of those sleep tube tents, okay, in a corner. And once we saw the tent, we approached her and she was told that she couldn't set up any tents or anything like that, and she left. Okay. Nobody that we've come across has accepted any services as far as from us on asking or dealing with when an ambulance comes. This all started with that city order that EMS will make the determination whether or not to take them or not. So that hasn't occurred. And basically the outreach that we would go to anyway is the Goddard organization. That's the number that we would call for them. And we also call 311 dealing with the homeless. All right. Moving on to lost and found property. This year we only had 3 for this month. Last year we had 4. Park rules, this year we have 24. Last year we had 38. Okay, vendors, last year none, this year 1. And with dogs, we had 5 reports, and they're basically all Rockefeller, the North Lawn. 3 of those 5 reports were dealing with dogs on the lawn that were actually turned out to be service dogs. And the other 2 were dogs on the lawn, but they were on a leash at the time. Right now, just for this month on coming up, just to let you know, we're also dealing with, there must be some program that these kids go to that around 15 years old to 16 years old, and around 8 o'clock at night. 8 to 8:30 at night, about 20 to 25 kids in that age group show up and they try to start drinking in Teardrop Park. Whenever we see a large group like that, the supervisor is notified. And whenever he starts to respond, he brings another safety ambassador with him. So there's 3 of them up there. As soon as they see them, they all split up and run everywhere. Now, this is also that group of roughly 25 kids. You know, a number of them live in the community, and the others, I guess, live around the community because they're quite familiar and they go into the buildings. And those that don't live there, they're running on Rockefeller Park and then up towards Hudson Park. So I don't know what after-school program or whatever goes on, but it seems that they're a group coming from somewhere and they're looking to finish their night down by us. And that's pretty much a sum up. I'm assuming, but they say never assume. I was at the First Precinct Community Council meeting. You know that we have a new captain, Joe Rosenthal. I met and spoke with him. There also, it appears, just to let you know, there are First Precinct cops that are up and around Rockefeller Park. So don't be surprised if you see them. That scam that we keep, Nick keeps putting in the flyers.
Hold on, I'm going to change my
Board
screen.
one.
This is a big one. Hold on a second. This is big. First Precinct called us on this as well, so I want to make sure that folks have it. Okay, here we go. Scam alert.
Right. Basically what happens is, you know, I don't understand this. I could see if they were kids, but they come along soliciting, whether it's a sporting event or whatever, looking for money, and they ask for a donation, and they're asking for it to be done through the phone, through an app, and these people are having trouble with this, so they hand their phone over to these people, and of course, they take the money. It's not going to any foundation or donation or anything else. It's going to their pocket.
Yep.
So that's pretty much the scam. What they found out is when they've been over in Rockefeller Park in uniform around the hours that I guess the reported scams, the people that reported it in the area here, the amount dropped. The number of reports dropped dealing with this issue, and they picked up in another area of Community Board 1, like around the South Seaport or some area like that. So when they went over there to police it over there, the reports started back increasing over here. So just to make you aware, so there may be some police over here in plain clothes. I'm thinking that they're going to slowly get out of uniform and put some plain clothes people around. But that's where that's at. Just wanting to make sure that that scam is definitely going on and still very much active down here.
Yeah, this is certainly a priority for us to monitor and a priority for the first precinct. They specifically reached out and asked if we can re-up this. We had this going on during the summer. It had kind of diminished here, as Pat had noted, and they got some more incidences over the South Street Seaport. It has kind of waned there and now has apparently made its way back here. But essentially the way it goes is, oh, can you just Venmo me? I want to raise money for this event or for my team or whatnot. And people being good natured will say, sure, I'll give you a couple of bucks. Here's my Venmo. And the person said, oh, I didn't get it. Can I just see your phone? And then they hand the assailant their phone, or they held the person the phone, and then the person rips them off. So bottom line is, don't give your phone to anybody you don't know. That's, if you want to remember one thing, do not hand your phone over to anybody you don't know. And obviously, if you are the victim, because it happens to the best of us, please immediately, you can let us know certainly, but you need to go file a report with the first precinct so they can track it and kind of factor that into their enforcement strategies going forward. But bottom line, don't give anybody your phone if you don't know them.
Thank you so much. And so,
Sure. And then one more thing, just to kind of build on what Pat had said, and I know we discussed this earlier in the week, and Tammy, you had made the suggestion as well, very helpfully, and thank you. We had reached out also to our partners at the Downtown Alliance. So the Department of Homeless Services uses Riverside Goddard for their homeless outreach. But the Downtown Alliance uses the Bowery Residents Committee. Trinity Church funds a part of it. The Downtown Alliance funds part of it. So essentially, they're their provider for homeless outreach. It's within the catchment area of the Downtown Alliance, which, as we know, is not within our catchment area, but they are right next to each other. So going forward, what we'll make sure we'll do with the Downtown Alliance is make sure that we're plugged into their updates. I'm not assuming that the information isn't already making its way across from Goddard Riverside to the Bowery Residents Committee and vice versa. Nonetheless, we'll make sure that we get Pat and his team plugged into the right folks there so they can continue to share information. To make sure that folks who need to get the help they need, and obviously to make sure that anybody who's looking to do not the right thing in our parks can have that information relayed to the law enforcement professionals to make sure everyone feels safe and secure.
that makes sense. Thank you. And thank you, Pat, and thank you, Nick. So the BRC, because what I will say is that the Downtown Alliance, in their partnership with Trinity Church, has been really successful in getting in their outreach efforts. And they've actually managed to take and place, I think they're up to 108 people off the streets now into permanent housing of some sort, whether it's supportive housing, I don't know the details, but they've been successful. And so that tells me that BRC is doing something right, and that's it, as an or. But I think that what we've heard, and I know in the Quality of Life Committee, we've had folks come in, so I'm just repeating the words, it takes multiple touches, and Pat, you've said that. The
Yep.
first time you talk to a homeless person, they're not gonna trust you. It takes multiple times of the, whether it's an allied universal ambassador, a police officer, or a social worker coming by, for them to trust them to then take the next steps. And it's difficult. I mean, there's things that need to be done to help these people, and, they're here, right? We've got our own set of homeless people in our own neighborhood, and what we can do to help them and help get them placed and housed and just in a better place is wonderful.
And what are the opportunities that BPCA can partner with Downtown Alliance? Because their model is working.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the key. So I don't, how do you spell Goddard? I was trying to look it up when I thought you. Goddard, okay, thank you.
It's actually Goddard.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I mean, I have no shade against Goddard, I don't know them, so I don't have any information, but let's see what we can do to make this work better.
Okay, and just as a note, most of our homeless stuff that is occurring up north, it almost appears based on the time that I'm seeing on the reports, okay, that it's in the morning hours that we're getting them. And it almost as if, if they were in a shelter, I don't know if you know that much about shelters, but the little bit that I do know about them is in the morning, they want everybody out. Okay, so it's almost as if they're emptying the place out for the place to be cleaned, and these, I'll call them clients, go around and they have to spend time. And obviously there's I'll call it a soup kitchen nearby, because around lunchtime, a lot of them are gone. Okay, so, it's a routine for some of them. Not all of them, because we do have homeless that we deal with at night. They're definitely not in a shelter.
Correct.
So-
Those are the people that we would want to try to get them some placements. And you're right, there is some, Trinity Church does do feeding. I think they've fed over 1 million people this year alone. And they've got food that they give out for lunch and for dinners, and they also have a food pantry.
Which is why their program with BRC and Downtown Alliance is so much more successful.
Because the people know them. The people come, they know them, and, so. It's them. Yeah, they trust them because they feed them. So, yeah, but I hear you. That's a good point, Patrick. That's a good thing, and there's gotta be information, that intel we should work with it and do something with it. I don't know what it is, but we should be able to do something. Then we can put our heads together and speak of it. Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Or comments or anything? I don't see anybody in the attendee section with their hands raised. So Patrick, you can go. Thank you so much. Thank you for being patient with us. And I'm happy to send you home on your way before 7 o'clock for a change.
Thank you. And my wife appreciates it.
Pat, write it down. Write it down. It's a day to put in your diary.
Is this my anniversary?
You better make it. If it's not, you better make sure it is.
Exactly. And just as that is going, Nick, let's make sure we put make a note of it to follow up and see how we can help, if I can help the Alliance.
Yeah, you faded out there a little bit, Justine, but yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, in my conversations with the Downtown Alliance, they make a good point as well, right? This is not to in any way diminish the great work that the Department of Homeless Services does, but they have a huge amount of work to do all across the 5 boroughs. To the extent that there are additional supports or partnerships that we can realize, I think, folks can use the help they can get, whether they're
Yes.
the folks trying to manage the issue or the folks experiencing homelessness, and takes a village, as they say. So we're happy to make sure that we are kind of increasing the ability for folks to access resources to the extent that they can.
Agreed. Yes. So no thrown on anybody. This is just all about how do we help and how can we work together to do better for everybody. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna just make a note to Karen. I'm gonna say her name wrong. Sorry. I hope I said it right, Karen. That's okay. She's from Asphalt Green, and she's gonna be talking about new business when we're done. But I just want to let you know, I see you. You're here. We made you panelists who can be part of this and listen. And thank you for coming and thank you for your patience, because we are on now number 3, which is the Wagner Park Pavilion Future Programming and Potential Uses. Initial
care.
engagement. Is Gwen here? Oh, yeah, Gwen is there.
Yeah.
Well, I love-
So thanks, everyone. Justine, I'm gonna take a first pass at this. Gwen is here as well for the stuff that I invariably get wrong or incorrect. But we had worked on a little bit trying to get, not just having some things to talk about, but putting together a brief deck for you all as well. But Gwen is able to join, and she just asked if you have a minute, if you can unmute her phone as well. But with that, if it pleases the committee, I will share my screen again, Justine.
I'm sorry, yes, you can show your screen. And I think, so Gwen, you're a panelist.
No, she-
You can unmute yourself. And *6, I think, is what your phone does. Unmute.
All right, let's see here.
Great. Karen, so cute.
All right, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Justine? Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Nick, I can be found.
Okay, can you see it? Okay. Okay. So we had this conversation some time ago, and then Justine and I have discussed it again recently, and Tammy as well. We had spoken at some length with the community and the community board about the future Wagner Park Pavilion and being back to the community once the construction had begun on the project overall, specifically about potential future programming and potential uses for the new Wagner Park Pavilion. Justine and I had discussed it again along with Tammy and leadership, and we said, you know what really makes sense at this time is to kind of kickstart or restart that conversation. And what we wanted to do was give you all kind of an overview on where we are, a timeline, and then have what is tonight, I think, just an initial conversation about the future of the new Wagner Park Pavilion as it is. So that is the frame for this. And I will just go through, that's not a very long presentation, Justine, it's 6 slides, one of which is a cover and one of which is a thank you. So it's really like 4 slides. Nonetheless, it's just, again, aimed at kind of refreshing folks on where we are and having the community begin to think about and marinate on their thoughts about the 2 parts of the pavilion, which I will go into now with a quick overview. So this is an overview of the pavilion. It's looking down on a section of the pavilion, as you can see, to orient the folks who may not be entirely familiar with the area. You can see my cursor here. This is Battery Place. Okay, this is the new pavilion. This is the new elevated and resilient Wagner Park that goes out, and this is the Hudson River here. So that gets you oriented. This schematic, by the way, is from the EIS, so that's online as well. I just took a screen grab of it to orient folks this evening. And what we'll do as I go through this presentation is we're kind of contemplating here the two wings of the pavilion, right? So the north end of it is the community room. You can see the rough square footage here, 48 by 26. Okay, and that's the north end. And then the southern wing is the envisioned kind of food services aspect of it along the lines of what was in the old Wagner Park Pavilion when it was Gigino's, for those of you who are aware of the space. It was a much beloved local restaurant. And what we had heard over the course of the years-long design and input process was that folks really liked the ability to be able to get something in the park and eat. So this is the full pavilion overall. You will come in, you will enter the park, and then obviously be able to keep walking and proceeding into the park, or obviously go into the community room or what's envisioned as the food services aspect of the pavilion. So what we have here is, again, just some ideas based on what we have heard over the course of the design process, over my years here in dealing with the community, about different things that people might like to have the community room, the new community room be, what type of functions they would like it to, what type of functions they think it might be able to serve. Again, this is A, not an exhaustive list, and B, not anything that has to happen. This is just kind of a broad, some broad brushstrokes to kind of refresh people's memories and get your minds thinking about some of the things that you would like to see. But generally speaking, again, this is the community room. So going back, this is the north wing of the new pavilion here. Okay, see, I've mirrored it here at the bottom of the slide. This is the north part of the new pavilion. And what we've heard, go ahead, Justine.
Oh, it's okay, no, I'm so sorry, we want to ask you a question. First, can you make the picture bigger? You're at 71%.
Oh, yeah, sure. This one here, this slide here. Let me see if I can make it bigger.
Bigger, but yeah.
Better? Sorry, yeah, sorry that the text is so small.
Try to read. Keep going,
Can you
keep
make
going,
it bigger still if you can?
full screen.
Maybe it will be bigger.
Oh, yeah, hold on a second. That better?
Better, yeah.
Yes, 125? Okay. So some of the things that we have heard over the course of the design process and, through our programmatic work, through all the Battery Park cities.
Again.
Yeah.
Wait, Nick, sorry, we muted you because we have a question for you. Sorry, and you can't hear us when you're talking, which is bad.
Weird.
Anyway, the question is.
Go ahead.
on the slide, which was comparing the community space and the restaurant space. Earlier slide.
Yes.
There,
Go ahead.
okay. So the restaurant, 44 feet by 39 feet, how does that compare to what Gino's was? Do you remember? In terms of capacity, if you remember.
That one I don't know. I may have to call my lifeline, Gwen Dawson, who's better than me in every conceivable respect. Gwen, do you know?
Yeah, I'm recalling correctly, and I will have to verify this because it's been a while since I've looked at it. The interior space here is kind of comparable to or roughly equal to the space that was included in with Gino's interior plus the tent space.
So the interior plus the tent. So
The
that's.
tent that would spill out onto the lawn, right?
Will the restaurant have exterior space?
Will the restaurant have exterior space? If you know.
If I could, can I jump in, Nick?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I know that it's labeled here as it was in the EIS as restaurant. I wanted in for recent conversations we have looked at the possibility that this could be restaurant space as it was kind of originally being a replacement space for the in the older pavilion. But it could be used for other purposes as well. So there is, if it were to be used as a restaurant or some type of food, there is the interior space. Also, there is exterior space along the perimeter of the outside wall that could be utilized as seating area.
Question? The word park is there and it shows going sort of between the two spaces. Is that a paved area?
That is a plaza, yes.
Okay.
And Sarah, you had a question?
I wasn't sure if,
Loud.
I wasn't sure if that was just the restaurant premises or if there were outside tables involved,
But she just answered that.
as per Gino. And I was wondering if there was any, basement kitchen space, and of course there isn't. Never mind.
There's no
Yes, there
basement.
is. Yes, there is. There's a lower level.
Much is
There's a
there?
lower level back of house space that does include the, accommodation for kitchen space, which was also, as we understood, a very limiting factor for the Chitino spaces.
Excellent. How big?
Do you have that next slide?
Let's see.
It's roughly the same. It's roughly the same size as the park level space.
Here we go. I have it here, Gwen. I'm sorry. Can you see my
About
screen?
2,500 square feet.
Yeah, 2,511 square feet is the lower level space.
And that was Gigino's?
No,
Well, this
this is the new place.
There was no basement.
4,500.
It's a completely new space that has this bi-level. There's a park level, then there's a street level below, a lower level street level that has the back of house space that it would include the potential station for kitchen.
This is over 5,000. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nick, thank you for answering the questions, and thank you, Gwen. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Perhaps looking back on this now, or perhaps looking forward, if I had to order this differently, I may have. This is all to say that this is kind of the beginning of the conversation. So part of the question I know that Marianne asked is like, the type of food service. And I think those are some of the things that we would certainly like to hear the community. And again, not just this evening, but over the course of the coming months, like what are the things that you would like to see, right? Would you like it to be something you can go up and have a takeout window? Would you like more of a sit down experience? Would you like some type of combination? Would you like something else that's not food involved? I mean, it doesn't mean that everybody who wants everything can get everything, obviously, but certainly we would like to hear about what the community generally would like to see in that space that during the EIS was envisioned as that food service restaurant type capability. So that's kind of the beginning of the process, and we'd certainly like to hear from folks about what they think tonight and going forward. So let me just run back here to what we had been on. So this was the main overview of the space, and then programmatically, so we just talked about the restaurant, which was the south wing, which I will get to in the slide after next. But the next slide is kind of the north wing. So this wing here, the pavilion, and that's going to be the community room, which we have had also, in addition to the food services aspect of the pavilion, lengthy conversations with the community about on the types of potential programming and events and capabilities that space might offer. So generally speaking, we have heard over the course of the process, perhaps some opportunities to have a greater connection to nature, green education component with local schools and local community-based organizations, something that can highlight the history of Wagner Park and Battery Park City more generally, some of the work that we are doing with resiliency overall. I'm channeling Wendy Chapman and some others who are very adamant, and I think rightly so, about making sure that the story is told about how important the work that Battery Park City is doing, not only just for Lower Manhattan, but generally. So different ideas there that the space can be used, that might be able to have the space be used for. We've also heard a lot about wellness and programming. I'm thinking about the many conversations I've had with Justine and Marianne and others about different programming opportunities, different additional types of spaces that people might be able to use. As you know, we have 6 River Terrace, we have 200 Rector, we have community space at Asphalt Green and at Stuyvesant High School. This will be yet now a true net addition to that. So this will be a brand new community room that could potentially be used for things like whether they be private parties or event rentals or community-based events, meeting space perhaps for the community board. I know that they have a rotating stable of locations that they'd like to hold their live meetings in, especially as we get more and closer to having meetings potentially all in person again, talks and classes, etc. So these are just some ideas that we had heard based on some of the main themes that have bubbled up over the course of the process. And then, of course, the use of space. This is on the next slide as well, but obviously, public access to the pavilion roof deck is something that we will obviously have and maintain. So that's the upper level of the pavilion where you can see some of the folks here in the rendering. Possibly opportunities to partner with, again, nonprofits or educational environmental leaders on sustainability programs and educational opportunities. And other ideas perhaps to programmatically activate the upper level space when it's not otherwise being used or rented or just able to have open to the public. There may be public type events that we can hold up there. So there are just generally some themes that we had heard, but certainly things that we would like to hear more about from the community as we go through the process of kind of finalizing the uses for the pavilion. That's from a programmatic perspective. I can take questions or I can finish through the restaurant and then we can open it up if that's preferable. But the next slide is what we're calling the potentially licensed space. So now this is the southern wing of the pavilion, not to give you guys whiplash, but going back to that second slide. So now we're talking about the southern wing, the restaurant slash envisioned food service aspect of the wing. So the south. And this is where I know Sarah had asked about some of the square footage. So the south wing of the pavilion includes space that could accommodate some form of food service offering, as Gwen had alluded to. Maybe the subject of a future license agreement with BPCA. Not entirely dissimilar from what we had with Giugino's in the past, where they had a license to operate the space. Gwen had alluded to it as well, but one of the challenges we know that Giugino had faced over the years and others as well was that that space, when initially designed, was not intended as a restaurant. Giugino's over the years did a magnificent job of kind of figuring out a way to use that space as effectively as possible, but it was not something that was initially intended kind of as a food service establishment space, which led to some of the unintended consequences of them coming out onto the lawn and kind of very cramped kitchen space and other quarters as well. So that has the square footage here in these two bullets, the 2792 square feet of public space at the main level, and then the lower level of 2,500 roughly square feet. And that is achieved for those of you who may just be joining us or haven't been tuned in since some of the Wagner Park Resiliency or South Battery Park City Resiliency Project discussions generally. That was able to be achieved because of the fact that the park itself is being raised up. You have the building built on top of it. You realize now that space that's underneath the elevated park allows us to have the opportunity subsurface for some back of house uses, single unit restroom, etc. The remainder of the south wing, including the public restrooms and the elevator vestibule, will be excluded from any potential licensed space. So it doesn't mean like it won't be this public restroom brought to you by, so it's a public restroom that's open to the public, like the rest of Battery Park City's public restrooms are, those in Teardrop Park, the ones that were in Wagner, etc. And then there is rooftop space. I'm thinking about Tammy Meltzer here because we've had many lengthy and productive conversations about that. That's roughly 5,400 square feet of publicly available rooftop space on the new pavilion. And in addition to feedback that we want to start getting from the community board and the community generally, we issued today a request for expressions of interest to the industry to also get some industry ideas about what potentially might be able to be done with the space. Results and responses to which are due next month. So before I open it up, just to give you an idea of where we are now and what the timeline is.
Yep, Nick, so yes, questions, wait, freeze, go back.
Go ahead.
Nick, do you think you'd be willing to, with the Battery Park City Authority and the community board and interested members of the public, do a working group to review expressions of interest and potential uses for Wagner? So instead of you coming into the community board as a reporting unit, you have actually the community board and members of the public perhaps in a working group format, working together.
And this way we can work together offline, come up with some ideas and move forward from there. And then we report, but that's, yeah.
I don't want to speak for Gwen. I know that the way we had built in the schedule, I was just trying to get to the last phase, but let me just do that as I answer the question, and I'll turn it over to Gwen.
It's, if you're doing requests for expressions,
Yep,
an RFEI, not having a working group who can easily sign confidentiality clauses, it is something that we have done before. It is a conversation that the Battery, we did it when it was for beyond the bicycle working group, it was done for the community center. And there are members of this board who were around and members who are now in city government who were all part of that task force determining the appropriate vendor and use for the new community center that was attached to the ball fields. So this is not an unprecedented ask. It's actually very much like what we did before.
Hey, Tammy,
Yeah, no,
I don't think,
go ahead, Gwen.
I don't think there's any disagreement with the objective, whether it's this group, and I think that's a fine idea. Whether this working group signs a confidentiality agreement and reviews the actual RFEIs, or if there's a summary of the RFEI responses that then gets discussed with the working group. I think the working group concept works, and I don't think that we have any objection. That it's a matter of kind of the details of exactly how that is carried out. But I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's
you.
wonderful.
Thank you, Gwen. We look forward, we'd like to see something that goes within, according to your timeline that you have. You know, it would be October to solicit the group. They would be on board by November 1st, so they could work in your timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, you know,
go ahead, Gwen. I'm
just to underscore the, you know, the timeline that we're working in, and I think we have time to do all of these things and do it the right way. So I think that, but again, we need to be mindful that, you know, as we are now underway with construction, and we're looking at, you know, now having the new newly designed and constructed park and the pavilion in place and opened up in a year and a half. So we want to kind of get on this, and we appreciate your enthusiasm and helping us out. But if to the extent that we want to identify potential partners or licensees or collaborators, and then we have to kind of be concerned about how we do the programming or furnish, you know, the space. We want to make sure that we're taking full advantage of the time we have, and we don't get too far down the road without knowing what we're doing.
That sounds great, Gwen. Thank you. And I think that if we can commit to doing this, we will work within your time frame, because your time frame, as you said, is important. Betty has a question.
Yeah, no, my concern about the working group would be, I think the first thing should be deciding what the balance of members is going to be. Battery Park City residents feel like they're paying for the project, so that has to be factored into it. I know the rest of the community wants to have a lot to say about what happens, although they don't pay for it. It is part of their community. But there needs to be a balance, and the different parts and different categories of people. So I don't want to get too bound down to just a tight group of insiders who say, I want to dictate what happens here.
That makes sense. I think there are people who are outside of Battery Park City who have weighed in and had opinions.
But there's a diverse group of people in Battery Park City that
Yes.
aren't members of the community board either.
Yes, that's, you know, it would be the public as well as community board one. I agree with you. That's a really good point. Jeff?
Will there be, does this RFEI apply to the community space as well? Or is, which I don't think it does based on your presentation, and assuming that it doesn't, in terms of programming and activating the community space, are you considering partnering with a contractor basically, or an organization that would do that, or do you contemplate that the authority itself will be responsible directly for the programming?
I think, Jeff, that we're open to a number of different possibilities. With the RFEI, we did not include the community space as part of the potentially licensed space. However, we did leave open the possibility for any interested parties who might have ideas how they might help support the community objectives in the community space in some fashion through some sort of blended kind of concept. We wanted to get those ideas, and we have our folks looking at this. Craig Houdon has helped kind of put together some concepts and some categories of things that might work here. So there's a part of it, or all of it may be something that EPCA Parks programming could assume exclusive or primary partial responsibility for, or maybe there are other organizations that are focused perhaps on environmental education that might have programs or classes or things here that might be appealing. So I think we're really very open-minded about all of the potential opportunities that might exist here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Brittany.
Brittany, unmute yourself. I think you're unmuted, Brittany. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I just want to say I love Tammy's idea and Justine, your idea of having this task force working group. I think it's a brilliant idea. I did have a question on, because I think it's important as we think about the usage for this space, of what's happening with Pier A as well, and that space that's right next door, and that we could maybe think about them together.
Pier A is still the subject of litigation right now. We're hoping that we're coming closer to the end of that process so that what you're suggesting, Brittany, can maybe become a reality in the not too distant future. But right now we can't. We don't have the leeway to do that. But I share the objective and the desire, and hopefully, that's not too far away.
Okay, so maybe we could take that into account as we're thinking through, and hope that as a fast follow-up, that it can be filled, and as we think about the usage, account for that could be open as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think that we would love to start hearing, even though there's, as I say, we can't act on it. I mean, we would love to start hearing if there are some thoughts about that, and start, kind of taking those ideas into account.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Brittany. Thank you, Gwen. Anybody else? I think we're good. All right, next. Gwen, thank you. And Nick, thank you. And thank you for letting us, sorry we yelled like Nick to interrupt you and just to get your attention. It's hard.
No, it's great.
It's on audio.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my final slide. Hold on. There's my thank you slide, Justine. I
Oh,
want to make
there
sure
you
that I
go.
get to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at that beautiful view.
Nice. Okay. I just request, because I think that Karen is still here, and before we go to, programming construction, this is your report, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the capital statistics. I'm gonna ask Nick if you mind if we let Karen just introduce herself first.
By all means, Karen, thank you, by the way. And this is probably the beginning of maybe a longer conversation, as I know Asphalt Green has done some great work. They're under new management and leadership, and they have been overall, over my course of BPCA, good partners, but they have been especially great partners of late. So thank you, Karen, and welcome.
Well, thank you for that kind welcome. I'm very excited to be here and meet some of you today. I'm here specifically to share a new initiative and get some feedback from you guys on how we can best roll it out and engage with the community. Sorry, we're approaching bedtime here, so I'm just doing a little juggling.
It's okay. So Karen, why don't you just introduce yourself, say your last name so I know how to say it right, and.
We're sorry, you did great earlier.
Okay, there you go, there you go, we're sorry. And you're with Asphalt Green, correct?
I am. I'm the Senior Director of External Engagement. This is my 4th or 5th role at Asphalt Green. I'm coming up on almost 9 years. Yeah.
Excellent.
We're really
You're welcome.
push
Congratulations.
engaging with the communities in a more meaningful way. And so I've transitioned from a more traditional marketing role to external engagement. So I hope to be working with this group and others a lot more.
Excellent. All right, well, let us know about your upcoming events.
Okay, so the thing that I want to tell you guys about today is some of you guys might be aware that we've had free senior memberships at our Battery Park City location before. And right now we're expanding it to 200 new members. And we've also expanded special classes just for seniors in the community. So we are inviting Battery Park City residents to apply now through the end of the year. So we'll be getting the word out through our website, flyers in the neighborhood. We're talking about tabling outside to help people register. But I was kind of looking to hear from this group, how can we get the word out? How can we register, particularly seniors? You know, the website might not be the best way. So if there's local businesses we can connect with, hang our signs, or other ways, I'd love to hear from you guys.
Sure. Well, I think that, I think Nick could give you some ideas about local papers that might be willing to either write a story about it or,
And Nick could put it in the
in
newsletter.
his newsletter, that's true, but
Also
also
on the
reach out to
website.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you're gonna wanna meet Mary Ann, who I think you'll meet tomorrow virtually, but Mary Ann, there she is, right there, I see her waving. But those would be great ways to do it.
Raunchy. You should give her a Raunchy or a Tribeca
Trifecta
Trip.
Trib, there's, I mean, if you're looking specifically to Battery Park City residents, the broadsheet's probably the best bet.
Reach out to the building
That's a
manager.
question.
And building
What-
management,
what-
yes, thank
All
you.
buildings can put it out. What will be the parameters for membership in terms of where people live, the youngest age?
Yeah, what kind of, I was gonna ask,
I
what
think
concept?
now, tell me if I'm wrong, that there are about 50 active seniors with day memberships that are free.
That's
If you
pretty
get-
accurate. Yep.
That's a big jump up. I'm thrilled. I hope they turn out.
Yes, us too. And so that's why I would like to hear from you guys to make sure we can fill those spots. And our intention is to extend this, I'm sorry, guys, to BPC residents now through November 27th, and then extend it to all of the CB1 community from November 27th through the end of the year when we close the application process.
So that is a big geographical area,
Yep.
and that's good.
Yeah, that's lovely. Sarah, what's your question?
What is a senior in your mind?
Age, yeah.
This is not my personal definition, but for this purpose, we've defined it as 65 and up.
Okay, and that's 200 members, and when you said that, is it 200 new members? So total 250
No.
or total 200?
Total 200, but speaking internally, if we had a huge turnout, we would evaluate and see how we can expand. I mean, that's our goal ultimately, to expand, but we want to be realistic at this first round. Yep.
This was offered at the end of last year, and the lottery was done.
Yep.
Do you know how many people applied versus, like, were there a lot of people trying to get in then who didn't?
No, I'd have to look back at the numbers, but no, we didn't have a huge engagement. And last time we did do lottery, this time we'll just do first come, first serve. So if you fill out the application, come and complete the paperwork, you're in.
Now, how does the membership differ from a regular membership in terms of benefits or hours or activity?
Yep. So the hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's kind of, what we consider that a daytime membership, not a senior membership. It's full access to the pool and the fitness center, same way. And then in addition to the regular group exercise classes, which are a part of it, there's, we just rolled out about a dozen senior exclusive classes that are included.
And all this information is on your website, right?
It's online, and I have a flyer that I can send to you all digitally. Just let me know where you'd like that to go.
Yeah,
I
Karen,
have
also send it to me. We'll get it in our newsletter and out to the building managers and
fabulous.
we'll flood the zone.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and send me a copy too.
What's the CD1?
Hi.
Yeah, which email address for CB1 is that? CB, wait. No, the manager, that's what that. Oh, okay, email address is man01@cb.nyc.gov.
Okay.
Thank you. And that way you can put it in our newsletter as well. And our newsletter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Your baby is beautiful.
Thank you. She's 11 months, so she's really starting to move around on her own.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you. Thank you for sharing her with us and thank you for your patience.
No, thank you for
And
getting.
yeah, we'll talk tomorrow, but, thanks for the patient, and Nick, thanks for letting Karen go first.
I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off unless you guys have any further questions so I can do bedtime.
No, do bedtime, enjoy your baby. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.
Nick, do you want me to share so you don't have to?
I can share. It's okay, Tammy. But thank you for the offer. Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you and good evening. So just a couple of things, some of which, or a few items I think we covered already, so I'll go through those, but a couple of things I certainly did want to get in the radar for the group. Discussed with some of you, not all of you. We have the community setting, so we'll try and take that opportunity now. Our hero image here is night of September 11th. As you know, Tribute in Light happens every year, and Battery Park City Authority was honored to take part in that as well with blue lights, not only in South Cove, but also at our 75 Battery Place facility, part of the Remember the Sky campaign that was aimed at making sure we never forget that day and taking the appropriate moments to reflect upon all that was lost and all that's been built in the years since. So thanks to our parks operations team and all the other folks who helped make that happen, and to our partners, both at the community board level, the community, and of course at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. The top item, certainly we wanted to make sure that folks know about, actually may be able to shrink this ever so slightly, but we may be able to fit it in one screen here. So we have the, as you, or some of you know, the Northwest Battery Park City Resiliency Project site walks coming up. You have seen it in the community newsletter. It's going out in our newsletter. It's seen it on social media, and you will get a not a small number of direct mailers in the interim between now and then as well. But there are a series of 4 site walks coming up for the project. I've linked there, both in the bullet and below it, the direct link to the Eventbrite where you can sign up. Obviously, it's free to attend. We just want to get a sense of the numbers and who might be joining us. What we tried to do also is break it up between reaches and between weekends and weekdays. So site walk 1, which will cover reaches 1 to 4. And since folks may not necessarily be familiar with what the reaches and the numbers correspond to, we've spelled it out as well. So covering West Street Crossing in Tribeca, North Esplanade, Rockefeller Park, and Belvedere Plaza. We will do that both on Thursday, October 19th in the afternoon. That's after school ends, but before any evening meeting starts. And then also on Saturday morning, October 21st, we will do that same walk again with a rain date of the 22nd. So if it rains on the 21st, I'm talking about, substantial weather, we will do a rain date the next day. If it's a slight drizzle or a little chilly, we're going to proceed. But if it's substantial weather, we will have a rain date set on the 22nd. And then site walks 3 and 4 will be reaches 5 through 7 of the project. That's North Cove, South Esplanade, and South Cove. That's the 21st and the 26th. So the 21st in the afternoon, and then the 26th on the Tuesday. So essentially it's 3 days. It's the 19th, the 21st, and the 26th, but it's 4 sessions because we are breaking up this Saturday session. We don't want people to think that they have to go the entire day on Saturday. They can mix and match what works best for their schedule. They can do one during a week, one during the weekend. They can do all, they can do some, they can mix and match. But we wanted to do both portions of the reaches twice, one during the week and one on the weekend. You'll see the image there. We've seen it in the broadsheet and local publications as well. And as I mentioned, it'll be on social media and directly mailed to folks who are on our newsletter mailing list. Another request from the community board, which we had extended it a few times to date, but we have the online tool back from our June meeting, which allowed folks to comment on the 30% designs as they looked. Most of the breaches were at 30%, some were not. But the 30% designs, give or take, as they looked in June. Since we are now close to the project sidewalks I just described, we're keeping that online tool open as well through the time when the sidewalks happen. So we're able to get any additional feedback we may get over the course between now and then, and also once the sidewalks happen. South Battery, yes, ma'am.
Thanks, sir, for listening. So when it says through October, can we assume that's through October 31st? Or is there a date enough? The last
Yeah, I'm not trying to get too cute with it. I mean, it's October 26th is a Thursday. At that point, yeah, just, at some point we do need to kind of not have that tool anymore, because when we're back to you back in the November timeframe, date TBD soon. We
Yeah.
want to be able to have like that 30% design plus meeting where we're like, hey, here's everything we've gotten from June, plus here's the parts that weren't at quite 30%, and here's where we are since then. But part of doing that is being able to take the feedback we've gotten since June and at the site walks, being able to do that. So yeah, at some point we want to close it, but I think through the site walks for sure, through the end of the month, I think is fine.
I think that makes sense. The 31st and then be done. That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then again, once we're back to you in November, there'll be an additional opportunity for you to give feedback on that. Maybe another online tool or some type of thing but yes, the feedback doesn't stop at that point. It's just that particular portion is we want to make sure that we get the comments and are able to incorporate them into the next phase. The South project we did with Rick at the top of the meeting. This is on our website. It's also in the report as well, a picture and the areas that will remain open. So we can go through that. And we talked about the scam alert, as you can see here at the bottom of page 3 during Pat's report. But again, that's just another note as well. Don't give anybody your phone if you don't know them.
And one thing, one thing about the, no, that's a scam alert, about the.
Yes.
About the Wagner Park, the bathroom public access. I'm going to assume I don't have to say that it has to be ADA accessible, however you're going to get there. So, I mean, I'm assuming you're making everything accessible, but I don't know with all the construction, how it's going to work.
Oh, you're saying the bathrooms in the Battery?
Yeah, during the construction.
Yeah, I mean, that to my mind is comes with, there should be no expectation that it's not, but I will confirm as well. I would presume that other than going around the construction area that's closed off, which everyone would have to do, whether they're using mobility device or not, getting into the restroom should function the same way as it does today. If for any reason that's not the case, I'll let you know, but I have no reason to believe that that's not.
Yeah,
But I just want to make a point that at the bathroom house, there is an accessible stall. you're looking at by the cafe, the Peter Minuet Cafe, there is not an accessible stall. They claim it is, but the door opens in and it's not usable by anybody with a mobility device.
Interesting.
I want you to present information that's misleading because I can't use those bathrooms. They won't accommodate my equipment. The door's in the way.
Okay, have you, let me take that to, that's actually New York City Parks Department, but let me follow up with them and find out what plan they have for that door generally.
The Conservancy has a contract that he's saying.
Minuet Cafe.
Oh, Conservancy is tracking that issue?
Yeah, they did answer the RFP and have the responsibility.
Okay, okay, I can follow up with the Conservancy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, couple of items here I just want to bring to your attention. Saw this tweeted as well, and this isn't major work, but it's just a couple of days, and we wanted to make sure, obviously, we got it done during the week, not the weekend. The Rockefeller Park swing set is currently under repairs, but it's only going to be a couple of days' work. Today was the first day. We should be wrapped up by tomorrow or Friday and open again for the weekend, so it's a relatively small thing. The rest of the playground and all the other public areas are open. The swing set itself, you'll see the little sign here, is closed off just while some work is done. On the kind of the structural supports of the swing set itself. Once that's complete, it'll be opened up, and the swing that has been down for a while, there's been a swing on the end that hasn't been there for a while, will be replaced and opened back up. I just want to make sure everyone was aware of that. We have a couple of events coming up, as you know. Love Struck Balladeers on Thursday, October 5th, which is tomorrow. And then a couple of big events coming up, which you've seen in the broadsheet and elsewhere as well. Here I Am is in celebration of National Coming Out Day. That's 2 shows on October 11th and 12th at 6 River Terrace. And Go Fish, which is our annual celebration of marine life in the Hudson. That is next Saturday, October 14th. And the timeline is lined up for you there. Meet the Beekeeper, which was canceled, unfortunately, or I should say postponed during Climate Week due to inclement weather, is rescheduled for the 16th. And we have our next blood drive coming up on October 18th. I just want to take a moment here to recognize that since June 2020, when this started, right when the pandemic was really picking up, we've had more than 1,500 donations at our blood drives in Battery Park City. And that's a testament to everyone who has come and made a donation. Sometimes people do it obviously multiple times a year and as close as they can to whatever that mark is. I guess it's 60 days until you can give blood again. So just a tremendous outshowing and outpouring of support from the community, and we really can't be thankful enough. And I know our partners at the New York Blood Center feel the same way. So thanks to everyone who's donated and continues to donate. Our fall blood drive is on the 18th. And I've included the link in the report there. Literally, you can just click on it and it will bring you right to the page that has you being able to sign up. Okay? And you can see the slots are available here. Okay. Campfire Stories and Songs, which is always a favorite. That's October 28th. And Public Art on Video, which we covered last month. That's really nice videos about some of the art in our parks. This is a community reminder now, but this is really nice. I know I've gotten some really good feedback on it as well about our community composting program. I have a little kind of pick stitch here with all the locations, up to 5 now. But our Parks Operations teams picks up, as we've noted, fruits, vegetable, tea bags and leaves, coffee grounds, filters, etc., spent flowers at any of the locations Monday through Saturday. So Gateway Plaza was our flagship and first location, but also at 75 Battery Place, 200 Rector Place, which Justine knows well. Matt Fenton's a big fan of that. Lower level of the North Esplanade, and right by the Dog Run. Those are some of the new locations. It's very easy to do. You can just drop it there, and it helps reduce waste that would otherwise go to landfill and help beautify Battery Park City generally. Just wanted to go ahead. Justine, you're fading out a little bit.
You can't do meat or fish in the poster.
Correct. Can't do meat or fish. Can't do meat or fish, but fruits, vegetables, tea bags, coffee grounds, filters, and flowers.
Thank you.
Nick, what about
Yes.
eggshells?
What about eggshells, do you know?
Eggshells?
Sounds good
I-
for the soil.
I
And the
think
flowers.
yes. Let me find out for you. Let me find out about eggshells.
No, because I made the mistake of coming down there with a big bag and it's like, oh, no.
Wrong.
And then,
some
you know,
wrong
whatever.
stuff.
But anyhow, I learned. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. There were a couple of points here. I don't have a ton left, but I just think there were a couple of points here really worth bringing up. We have our parks happenings that we push out each month that kind of gives folks a little insight into what goes on throughout our beautiful public spaces over the course of each month. And a couple of things, I put this together each month because I think it's valuable to have and it's good to check back on. But every now and again, I sound like I'm like making a pitch here, but it's true. I'm really blown away by some of the work that our operations team does. You guys know Ryan Torres, who comes a couple of times a year and does kind of spring updates. But just a couple of things here that jumped out at me this month. So this month, we're going to be receiving and planting 50,000 bulbs. I can't even count that high. I can't even imagine how big a number that is. 50,000 bulbs are going to be planted over the course of the month to get our public spaces ready for the spring. So it really is just a tremendous amount of work. I don't know how they do it, but it's really a testament to the men and women of our parks operations team and Battery Park City generally, who keeps our public spaces just really the envy of all others. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And then I have a couple of other pictures here that people might find of particular interest. And sometimes, it's the simplest things that end up being the most ingenious. I have an item here, plastic pittance. I try to get cute with some of the headlines, although again, I'm no Matt Fenton, as we know, who writes really some of the headlines for the ages. We receive over the course of the year thousands of those black plastic planting pots when we get plantings from all over to make sure that we're planting our public spaces and our gardens. And they are, as I'm told by the folks who do this for a living, notoriously difficult to recycle. So what happens oftentimes, not just in Battery Park City, is they get thrown out, and that doesn't help us to try to achieve our goal of zero waste, which is reducing the amount of material that would otherwise go to the landfill. So what we are doing this month is returning nearly 5,000 of those plastic hot plant holders to one of the vendors that we buy the plants from, and they're going to be able to either reuse or recycle them. And as a result, this is a big number. It's 1,300 pounds of plastic that are diverted from simply by saying, hey, is there a way to get rid of these instead of just because you can't do them in traditional recycling, right? It's not like we can use it. It's not like Department of Sanitation can recycle them, but the actual vendor can either reuse or recycle them again. Sometimes they may come back to us, but you're diverting all that plastic that would otherwise go to the landfill. I thought that was a really nice story to share. And then there's other items here, but the last thing I will just throw out for the moment, and I thought this was wonderful as well. We have at various times in the past spoken with this committee about our permeable pavers pilot program. Try saying that a number of times fast, but that is a number of places throughout Battery Park City where we've replaced traditional pavers with more of a permeable material, which helps reduce runoff and have the water absorb back into the ground rather than sitting on the hardscape. The picture I have here to the right, you have to look at it closely. That's not a pick stitch where you get two pictures and you put them together. That's literally a picture. And you can see the top of that picture is the hardscape where the water just sits in pools. And the bottom half of it, right next to it, are the permeable pavers, which are essentially, they're not dry, but there's no standing water. It has absorbed itself back into the ground, which is exactly as it's supposed to work. Permeable pavers can help reduce groundwater runoff and just be generally more sustainable as is. So that was a picture that really captured some of the work that we do. And I thought that was a nice thing to put in there. So permeable pavers for the win. You'll be seeing more of it, and we should have an update for you soon on how that pilot program is progressing. I have some highlights here from our migration celebration event, Remember the Sky, which I covered up front. The Manhattan Solid Waste Advisory Board. Tammy may be familiar with this. There's some other folks who work closely with the borough president's office, but this is an advisory board of residents selected by the borough president that meets periodically to talk about the advancement of ideas and initiatives in the furtherance of New York City's greater zero waste goals, again, which is reducing the amount of waste that goes to the landfill. And we were happy to host their latest meeting earlier, well, in September, I should say. Ryan Torres, whose name comes up a lot, was able to present to that board about our pioneering work in reducing waste across Battery Park City. Some other highlights here from Los Cintron, Climate Week. We had music and concerts and tours. And we had an event just last Saturday that highlighted some of our public work in and around Esplanade Plaza, including Waterfront Plaza, and of course, Justice Reflected, which is on Esplanade Plaza. That's the long and the short of it. The last thing I would note as I get to the bottom here is, and again, I'd be remiss if I didn't, but one of my favorite all-time events each year is the BPC Dog Association. By the way, I'm looking at you, and I say this as someone not who has a dog, but as someone who has a 4-year-old daughter who wants a dog for her birthday. The annual Halloween Dog Parade is October 28th from 12 to 3. And you will see, you'll indulge me here. It's taking place at Esplanade Plaza. And with that, I think that's enough. They're going to use the hook and pull me off the stage. Those are the main items, but as you can see, as opposed to September where we had some really large events, we don't have very many in October, and the ones we do are not terribly large in terms of the footprint. The largest one is the police memorial dedication each year where we add the names. That's for October 20th. We have a few hundred people. I don't know if there's going to be street closures. I will advise when I know, but if there are, it'll be for only a portion of the morning, and they should be cleared out by midday.
Okay.
And that was it.
No, that's perfect. And then, thank you, Nick. Thank you for the report. Thanks for finishing. It's kind of nice to be
Closing this up just before 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Yes.
Can people from the outside enter their dogs?
Yes.
And the reason I bring that up is because very recently I read an article about, I want to say it was in Chelsea, but somewhere Safeco must be charging more insurance money as well as permit fees. And so, right, well, so they are stopping doing the dog parade for
We
Halloween.
get our permit from the Battery Park City Authority.
Well, I'm saying it may be something more affordable if these other groups have just had to drop it because they found they just couldn't afford to do it anymore.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
don't know if anybody's welcome.
Anybody is welcome to come. They even let my ruffian dogs come, so that's a good thing.
Yes. Yes. If that number turns from 60 to a larger number, then it's not a problem. We love the Halloween Dog Parade.
Thank you. And then last item on our agenda, because we really don't talk about it much, is the capital expense budget items for fiscal year 2025. With the Battery Park City Committee, we should be putting in our requests with our connection with the other committees, because our agency is the state and this is the city. So I don't really want to burn on it. However, if there's something you want to say.
There are projects such as the South End Avenue project, which have been talked about. There are other things that,
Budget? Because part of it's the DOT.
What is that scheduled?
Nick?
And what is scheduled?
No,
What is scheduled? Because we have something from 2016 that maybe is not relevant anymore.
We don't know what's happening.
Nothing.
I'm still here. Is the question about the South End Avenue and West 10th Street traffic
Yes.
adjustments?
Yeah.
So that is, it's on hold. It's not happening immediately.
I could not hear you, Nick. Sorry.
Say it again.
I'm sorry. It's not happening within the timeframe that's planned right now. The focus is on a resiliency project. Doesn't mean that there's not going to come a time when we want to revisit with this community, and I know that board certainly. I know that perhaps, and this must be maybe a year or so ago or more, we had come back, and the concern then from the community board was, hey, we liked everything then, but it's been some time and want to revisit it. So yes, when we do come back to revisit it, we'll want to make sure that we plan it out with the community board.
Circumstances have changed. Once we finish the resilience.
However,
change.
think expansively, even though we have a state agency,
Yeah.
you have to still think expansively. So for example, even when you're turning into Battery Park City, the corner that's on the south side, Liberty Street, DOT did some bump outs and curb extensions.
Yes.
Whether it's curb cuts, like we've talked about in many places, crosswalks, all of those kinds of things are DOT based that can be asked for and
Right.
adding left turn lane onto Albany Street from the West Side Highway is a big one.
That's state.
That's state, but we have
Not
always,
city budget.
Yeah.
we've always included many different things to try and get coordination amongst agencies because there have to be a variety of yeses in those kinds of things.
Yes.
So, you know, think expansively for the budget, anything that could potentially relate to a city organization.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, everybody. And with that, it is 7:53, and I will close this meeting.
Okay.
So adjourned. We are adjourned.
Amen.
Woo-hoo.
Good night, Nancy.
Right.
Thanks, everyone.